All right, welcome to FedRAMP in 5, where we talk about all things FedRAMP in about 5 minutes. Um, Today, we're going to start a series on the future of FedRAMP, and specifically around the FedRAMP roadmap that was just released. So, the FedRAMP program is now 12 years old. We've been doing it for two-thirds of our life as a company, and we've seen a lot, and we've seen the program grow. But definitely, we've noticed that it feels like the PMO has been heads down, trying to kind of get through the backlog that continuously is growing. And it's great to see, in the wake of the uh, all of the activity in the federal government in the past couple of years, including and culminating, I think, with the passage of the FedRAMP legislation that came through. It's great to see this future look into where the program is going, and I think this is really what's needed to kind of move things forward and move it along. So the roadmap really starts out by talking about why they're doing it. They've been out getting feedback from industry and from all the stakeholders. Um, they're trying to clearly articulate the goals moving forward. And I think that they've done the right thing here by focusing on a 2-year window. Because if you get further out than that, it's hard to define. I think that's a great approach. And then communicating, that FedRAMP needs to modernize is really the big key to what they're trying to communicate here. Um, they really want to be very clear about their commitment to customers and who their customers are. And I love that in this deck they're really going through all the stakeholders and why those stakeholders are considered customers. Um, but the goals of the program that the first few slides here go over are not much different, right? I mean, FedRAMP is still around, allowing the government to take advantage of cloud. And that really hasn't changed. And including the initial focus of the program was to solve the problem that FISMA created with cloud, and and it does that by authorizing one time and allowing reuse. And then they clearly go over some of the situations and circumstances that have arises or that have arrived um, over the past few years around that reuse, um, and try to address that. Um, they also acknowledge here that the FedRAMP program is beyond just government; it's beyond U.S. federal government, but it's recognized as sort of a starting point for other frameworks in other other countries are using FedRAMP as a sort of blue,
Baseline.
yeah, a blueprint for their sovereign cloud program. And then acknowledging that improvements to training and guidance are needed as well. Key stakeholders, this really isn't different. It's the federal agencies and the executive branch, although the other branches also leverage FedRAMP. And then cloud service providers, obviously, and it's great to see them acknowledge CSPs as a kind of a customer. Um, and then the three PAOs and the three PAO community.
Yeah,
And then they're really,
I was gonna
yeah,
say,
go
what
ahead.
Jason, I really like here is that they're really acknowledging they've been working in the FedRAMP program for many years, and they've stood up a little bit here and there, and really have improved their processes, time and time again. And this is another time where they're going to maybe take a step out a little bit from working in the program to working on the program. And I think that's vital for the success of not only the FedRAMP program itself, but all the CSPs, the cloud service providers who want to sell their cloud a service offering to the government, to be able to see this process improve, to really, really improve this customer experience, to shorten the timeline for reviews, to provide good, consistent feedback to agencies, and also the cloud service providers to be able to kind of work all the way through the audit, creating that kind of increased visibility, with some modernization around the continuous monitoring processes, and also to be really clear and consistent about what the expectations are and meeting some of these requirements. I mean, a great example is it's FIPS and what we've been through with FIPS here lately.
Mhm.
And for small to mid-sized organizations, trying to figure out how to reduce time and cost, but not only say on the CSO, the CSP and the CSO, but also the government agencies and also the FedRAMP program, to make more of this automated, to make more of this in more modern way for automation, more cloud native mechanisms to create authorization packages, the POM packages, and to be able to do a lot more validations through that entire process, for submitting your annual assessment, submitting your initial assessment, reviewing your annual assessment, reviewing your initial assessment, along with that monthly Kanban set of documents that have to go into place every time, and really take as many humans out of this process as possible. Taking a hard look at how we do configuration management, taking a hard look at how we ultimately do any of these processes where we're really um, having a person in the loop and taking that person out of the loop and bringing in either in some artificial intelligence, some ML, or some good solid automated tools to be able to help us make these decisions and then be able to kind of move this along faster. So faster, more efficient, and consistent will reduce the overall time. But if you're doing it the same, or I'm sorry, unique for every different customer or every different agency, then you're going to create and increase the cost to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, and really, that's what they're driving at here is improving the face of the program or the customer interaction with the stakeholders, um, resulting in better, more transparent security across the cloud services in use in the federal government, and then re, you know, bringing down the cost and the time to do it all. So it really is, improving kind of all facets of the program. It's kind of a monumental task ahead, but I think that you know what they're laying down and some of the priorities that we'll see here. They've sort of bound that up around four strategic goals, and we're going to do some breakout videos for each one of these, and sort of talk through them as well. But you know, orient around the customer experience and look at it through the lens of each stakeholder is a big part of this. Being the leader in cybersecurity and risk management, and honestly, I think the FedRAMP program is already one of the leader, one of the models for good security. I mean, I just, you-
And
after
they
being in the
and
security industry for so long, you see a lot of things, and the CSPs that we've worked with, you know, they have the least rate of incidents and things like that we've seen.
and also that public private partnership that we see here too. It's been a very good thing. We manage FedRAMP customers, and we manage state and local customers, and we manage commercial customers. And every one of our FedRAMP customers is actually easier to manage because of the cleaner nature in the environments, because of the Kanban process, because of continually ensuring that you're meeting the standard every single month. So I think that's absolutely key. But
Yep.
they've been able to do a lot over the past 12 years. But in order to truly support what the government needs overall, they've got to increase their scale, right? And if they've got to be able to increase the overall ability for them to reach out and expand what they're trying to attempt to do here for the federal government. And then also anybody who's trying to sell these services, these cloud service offerings, into the government. So they've got to be able to figure out how to increase that throughput in a very consistent manner as well.
Yeah, and really, it's scaling these goals sort of dovetail together, because the only way to do that is to make the program more effective through automation and technology, and through that modernization, so that we're at 300 or plus cloud services 12 years into the program. What does it look like? How much longer until we have 700? Um,
And
so
and think about
that'll
this
be.
also
Mhm.
think about this also not only from a kind of a FedRAMP PMO perspective, but bring all the agencies in this as well. They've got a huge challenge when they're managing a large portion of this FedRAMP infrastructure of reviewing packages every single month or reviewing the initial and annual assessments every single month. So and then you have as many 30 or 50 different CSPs sending their monthly reports into all of these individual agencies. So when we're thinking about scale and we're thinking about program effectiveness, we've got to be thinking about the entire ecosystem as well. So
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, and then the next videos we'll go through each one of these and sort of unpack them a bit and talk more about the future of FedRAMP. Thank you for
thanks
joining.
for your time. Yep, thanks for your time.